it for you, punk. Hit ya with the punk tactics. 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 Hit ya with the hard punk tactics. Bank rolls come straight for the assets. No games, no throw, won't pass it. Pick you up, spit you out like Jurassic. Oh, no for the rigmarole, we kick pros. Stub toes, I suppose you might know. Hit the block, then you flock. Time's up, now you're about to get clocked.
How to paint water. Today I'll be using these few colors. I start by mixing out a nice sea green and covering my entire canvas with it. I then mix a nice medium blue and use it to start carving out the shadow shapes you see in the water. Each shadow should be shaped kind of like a lemon wedge and positioned so that they're larger towards the bottom and smaller and closer together towards the top of the canvas. I then add some smaller reflections inside those shadow shapes using the same blue. Next, mix up a cooler and warmer light blue. Starting with the cooler one, we use smaller brush strokes to express the light bouncing off the water. These brush strokes should follow the flow of your waves and not interrupt your shadow shapes. Mix a little more warmth into your paint the further you move down the canvas. Make sure your brush strokes get wider and longer the closer they are to the bottom too. This helps create a sense of distance in your painting. Lastly, I go in with some pure white and use it to create thin, sparse highlights on the tips of the waves. I even like to go in and add some sparkles where the light reflects the strongest. And voila! You have yourself some water. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Each in a daisy, I be dirty dancing, all the yelling gravy slazy.
Damn, baby, you so vicious, you so clean, so delicious. How come you ain't got no miss?
Today I tried that experiment where I draw how I imagine I look like in my head versus drawing faithfully from a reference photo. It turns out it wasn't difficult because of the technique, but because it forces you not to draw an idealistic version of yourself. It meant I had to draw all of my flaws, my blemishes and imperfections, all of the stuff social media would put a filter over. I didn't want to cheat, so I didn't use a mirror, I strictly used my own brain. And then I quickly came to the conclusion that I have no idea what I look like. I actually kind of hate drawing myself because I feel like I don't have a specific look. Like, everyone on the internet has a very recognizable style or recognizable features, and I just look very normal. But overall, I liked this challenge. So here's how my brain thinks I look versus how I actually do.
Have you ever had to wing a school project or presentation? That's what it felt like to make this painting initially. I had a super vague idea to paint a bunch of my characters on a boat, but I had no idea what characters, what boat, or even what kind of scene it was. To overcome this challenge, I thought back to my imagination that I had as a kid. I used to have vivid, almost cartoon-like dreams, and I used that in order to create this scene around. For the characters, I decided to use the characters I've come up with over the last few years, such as the masked flower character, the forest shaman, and the infinity man. But I also added a few new characters, one of them being this reaper guy. I also added my childhood self writing with all of the characters. From the start of this piece, there was a core feeling, a pure idea that was hard to see while staring at the blank canvas, but by tapping into my own core memories as a child, I was able to express that core idea through my imagination of the past and present, leaving me with my newest painting titled River of the Imagination. Let me know what you guys think.
I don't even know what to say. Flatter her. Girls like that. Tell her you love her eyes, her lips, her hair, the way she parts her hair. In fact, tell her you love all her parts.
Oh no, I can't say that. We're smashing mics in karaoke bar. What you know about rolling down in the deep? When your brain goes numb, you can call that mental freeze. When these people talk too much, put that shit in slow motion. Yeah, I feel like an astronaut in the ocean. I don't regret it. I just woke up on my tour bus. I don't know where I'm headed. I've been on my own since I turned 18.
my dream. Love living in the A when people knew me barely. Then my dream came, a lot of shit got very scary. I got so much love for Houston like it raised me. Me and Sauce in a Maybach getting faded. This don't feel right, nah, this shit feel crazy. Touching on my pipe, don't even feel like I made it. I know I lost faith, yeah. That was before I was famous. I traveled across the nation, don't matter what state we in. People stop and staring, looking at us like aliens. This time in Carolina, this time in Tennessee. Is there a heaven for a G? Where can I go to get some peace? I wanna settle.
Don't provoke us or we will push you downhill. Might be pretty but we're still bitter as much as we're sweet. Knife hidden under the sheets, baby, ask you. Don't provoke us or we will go.
Three things to keep in mind while mixing paint. 1. Always mix more paint than you think you'll need. You can use the leftover paint from all of your paintings on a separate canvas to create an abstract piece. You can mix some slow dry medium into your acrylics to stop them from drying up before you're done using them. No more remixing the same color 27 times. My next tip is to unify your palette by mixing one color of your choice into everything. You can also do this by using a limited amount of tube paints to mix your palette from. This makes all the colors on your palette come from the same roots, which makes them look more congruent later on.
Draw an island inside an airplane. I feel like turbulence would be so much fun inside this plane. Seatbelts might be tricky though. A dragon tattoo coming to life. It's kind of like a Pokemon, but really violent. Someone with a fire hoodie. This would be cool for about half a second, maybe. Cookie spotted Dalmatian. Yeah, I don't know. I'd probably have to leave this one to the shelter.
They're invincible, and she's just in the background. And she says, I wish